Welcome back, everybody. We're going to take a look at some more SH Figuarts. We have got the Zoro from the Netflix live action. We also have our Luffy over here to compare the two and have them side by side with each other. This guy seems pretty sweet. Seems at least a step up from the Luffy. And we're going to take a look at him, check him all out, and see what we think. Pulling him right out of the box, he does have some like plastic bits that like are covering up some of him so that you can get a little bit of protection. Well, it's packaged, it seems. This looks like this is, yep, just on there like that. And that loosens that up. And he did have a few pieces around his arms and his feet that like came off, kind of like a hot toy, just kind of like extra packaging. He appears to have some really good articulation. Let's see, look at this and everything. This is the one thing I love and hate about the SH line, is that everything they do gives you such extra range, right? So you get all this crazy articulation range, but then like you can get into these like weird static poses where like he doesn't seem flush. Like that looks like a good little arm sculpt right there, but then like you come out like this and you got those gaps and they look weird and stuff. And so you just got to kind of play around more with these guys to get them into that more natural pose where like the sculpting and like the joints stay flush while getting you into those spots that you want. And it takes a little bit of getting used to, but I mean you can really get into those spots where you don't have this like weird like hideous gap look. And that's really nice, because that trade-off there, having that extra articulation, very, very nice, and it helps with that payoff of paying double, triple what you normally would for a figure to get that extra articulation and that sculpting that looks real good. Because he looks pretty nice, he looks pretty accurate to the actor, but at the same time, he comes off very animated too. Like, I don't know if it's just because, you know, like he seems very animated in the show or whatever, but like it seems almost like that sculpting is a little more animated than he should be. And then I feel like that's the wrong shade of green. And it definitely looks a lot brighter on camera than it does in person, but it is still a brighter green than I feel like it should be. He's got a whole slew of articulation going for him. We'll get into all of that in just a second. Messing around, just kind of checking him out for now. Yeah, he's looking pretty good there. Let's see if we can just get you to stand there. There you go. Let him go there. And then as far as all of his accessories, we've got a few different hands. We have got, of course, his 3 swords. Then, of course, we've got his 3 swords unsheathed. And then we even got his bandana, which slides up on his arm rather nicely. And can we get it past that little lip bit on his cuff? Yes, we can, and that is perfect. That is exactly kind of the positioning we would want it. You just gotta get it right up on that sleeve area perfectly. You might even be able to get it with having it just right on that lip. Seems to hold it perfectly. If we can get it back in that position. Perfect. There you go. And then you've got your bandana tied off on the arm. Pretty nice. Pretty nice. You stand back up. No, don't you fall. You just spin. Do your thing. This. Our 3 sword style head is you gotta have it. Unlike anime heroes who has to do 2 separate figures to give you this, when it could just be a separate headpiece. Now, does this come out? It does not. So that whole piece is a single sculpt. Like, that is in there. You are not getting that out. Interesting. Looks good, though. Then his swords. There was a little warning label saying that his swords are sharp. I was hoping that meant like metal or something, but obviously this is plastic. But it does got a hell of a point on there. Ow, Jesus, that does got a point. I wouldn't say sharp, but pointy, for sure. And those swords look real good. Look at this. Let's see if we can get a real good like look at this. Look at that. That is straight. That is a straight blade. That is real nice sell point for SH. As if you remember, I don't know if we've seen it or like you can go check it out if you'd like. We checked out the anime hero Zoro, and like most of his swords have like that like bends in them, and they don't sit flush, and they're bad. They are real bad. Now as far as his actual swords here go, the cool thing with them, I was looking at it, they are just pegged in there, those handles there. So unfortunately we don't get sheathable swords, but we still, will you like focus on what we're looking at? Cool. Nope. There we go. Yeah, let's stay there. So this is really cool. Look at this. We don't get that sheathable sword, but we do get, bam. Can we? This isn't gonna work, guys. This is not gonna work. Yeah, no, that's not gonna work. That literally goes like it's just the tip. It is just the tip. Which way did you go again? This way? Bam. Perfect. Can you go the other way? It does not look like you can. Yep. You could force that, but then it would look awkward. So if it feels forced, it doesn't go in that slot. Bam. Perfect. Then as far as our other hands and swords go, he's got his fists there. We've got opening hand, opening hand, and then of course sword fist, sword fist. And our other two blades are right here. Bam. Make sure we stay focused where we're looking. Bam. And these ones also. Bam. And they are concaved to fit in there perfectly in the one direction they are supposed to, so it all stays flush, which is really nice. You can't accidentally put it in backwards without forcing it. So real nice. Bam, we got our 6-inch figure right there. He does stand exactly 6 inches, so he is that 1/12 scale. So now if we're going to set him up properly, I believe he goes with the Wado Ichimato. Oh, we knocked off his hand. That was interesting. That hand fell off very interestingly. We will get him a new hand in just a second. Ugh, that fits in there so tightly. Oof. Tight. And then we would have, I feel like we want that downward more, don't we? Wouldn't we? Maybe that's why that went in so tightly. And there we go. We got all the swords in there. I did end up putting them with the curved blade down. It looked a little bit more accurate to me. And they aren't actually hard to like slide in and out, but it's just like doing it with like, I've got the camera in front of me. I've got everything going on here. So like they actually do slide out like pretty nicely, but they do hold tightly as well. And then we did throw on that open-faced hand there so that he could kind of get a little stagnant pose there. He looks pretty good. He does. He looks really awesome. And I think this is going to be a fun one to play with. I feel like he looks a little bit better than the Luffy does, but at the same time, I still feel like they don't look right. Like there's something about them that just doesn't do it for me right now, right this second. They look really cool though together. Like as you get them all together, I believe the Nami is out, and no word on if they're doing any others, but we'll see with more news coming about season 2. But that's pretty cool. I really like that bandana accessory. It's so simple. Like, I mean, more simple accessories we need. Let's go ahead and set him up, get him some head swaps, get him some swords, and we can see what he looks like. There we have him with all of his swords. He looks pretty cool. You are gonna have a fun time really trying to get him into some of those signature anime poses. I feel like his articulation, well, is a little bit impressive. At the same time, I feel like you don't have all the articulation you need to pull off some of the more, let's be reasonable, to pull off some of the more unrealistic and unreasonable poses that Zoro ends up getting into. If you're trying to go off of like, oh, I like when he does this one thing in the anime, like his like where like all of his stuff kind of lines up perfectly. Like you're not getting that look, like because that's usually more closer to his face too and stuff. Can we stop unfocusing here? Like, why are we keep losing focus? But he does look cool. He is going to get into some intricate poses. Let's see if we can get him into something along the lines of, bam, like he just looks cool. He's going to be so fun to play around with. And then like, having like his sheath there and then his handles all coming off. Really fun, really simple. Quit focusing on Luffy. He's in the background. Yeah, super cool. I do like him. And we will revisit this line when we get a Nami to go with them. Till then, we will see you guys around. Bam, look at that. Like, that is super cool, though. I'm going to have fun playing around with him for sure. See you around, guys.